Hi friends, this is Srinivasulu, branch of CSC, Adishankara Institute of Science and Technology, Gudu. I am in 4th year, final year. This is my software testing tools tech talk presentation video. In this video, we can explain that what is software testing tools and what is software testing and software testing life cycle, software development life cycle and testing methodologies. Software testing. Introduction. It is the process used to identify the correctness, completeness, and quality of developed computer software. We can in software development like software testing like we can if one project we can design and before we submitted the project we can test that software is working any bugs are there to verify them. That is the software testing. It is the process of executing a program application under positive and negative conditions by manual or automatic means. Check for the specification, functionality and performance. In these purposes, we can software testing used. Objectives: uncover as many as errors or bugs as possible in a given product. Demonstrate a given software product matching its requirement specifications. Validate the quality of a software testing using the minimum cost and efforts. In low cost to we can quality project we can get. Generate high quality test cases, perform effective tests and issues correct and helpful problem reports. Bugs are will be error in this topic. Objectives: error, bug, fault and failure. Error: it is a human action that produces the incorrect result that produces a fault. That is known as error. Bug: the presence of error at the time of execution of the software. This is called bug. Fault: state of software caused by an error is known as fault. Failure: deviation of the software from its expected result. It is an event. It is not output is known as failure. SDLC, SDLC, Software Development Lifecycle, standard model used worldwide to develop a software, a framework that describes the activities performed at each stage of a software development project, necessary to ensure the quality of the software, logical steps taken to the develop a software project. Classical waterfall model. This is a waterfall model. Flexibility study, requirement analysis and specifications, design, coding and unit testing, integration and system testing, maintenance. It is the oldest and most widely used model in the field of software development, known as waterfall model. Testing life cycle. In testing life cycle, first project initiation, next system study, next test plan, next design test cases, next execute test cases, manual or automated, report the defects, and next regression test, and next analysis, and last summary of the reports. This is a software testing cycle, life cycle. Test plan. It is a semantic approach to test a system, i.e. software. Plan typically contains a detailed understanding of what the eventual test workflow will be. Test case. It is a specific procedure of testing a particular requirement. It will include identification of specific requirement test case, successful failure criteria, specific step to execute test data. Verification versus validation. Verification. The software should conform to its specification. Are we building the product right? Validation. The software should do what the user really requires. Are we building the right product? Testing methodologies. Black box testing and white box testing. There are two testing methodologies of black box testing and white box testing. Black box testing. No knowledge of internal program designer or code required. Tests are based on requirements and functionality. In the black box testing, there are no internal program design or code required. White box testing. Knowledge of the internal program design and code required. Tests are based on coverage of code statements, branches and paths and conditions. In white box testing. In this diagram we see that black box testing. requirements, events, input. We give the input, that requirements and events to get the output. White box testing. In the white box testing, we have see that tests data, tests component code, derives, and test output will give them in white box testing. Testing levels. Unit testing. There have three testing levels are there. 1. Unit testing. 2. Integration testing. 3. System testing. Unit testing tests each module individually. Follows a white box testing logic of the program done by developers. Integration testing. Once all the modules have been unit test, integration test is performed. It is systematic testing. Product test to identify the errors associated with the interfacing. Types: Big Bang interaction testing, top-down integration testing, bottom-up integration testing, mixed integration testing. There are integration tests are 4 types are there. System testing. The system has whole is tested to uncover requirement errors, verifies that all systems elements work properly and that overall system function and performance has been achieved. Types: alpha testing, beta testing. There are 4 types: alpha testing, beta testing, acceptance testing, performance testing. Alpha testing. It is carried out by the test team within the developing organization is known as alpha testing. Beta testing. It is performed by a selected group of friendly customers. This is known as beta testing. Acceptance testing. It is performed by the customer to determine whether to accept or reject the delivery of the system. It is known as acceptance testing. Performance testing. It is carried out to check whether the system meets the non-functional requirements identified in the SRS documentation is known as performance testing. Types of performance testing: stress testing, volume testing, configuration testing, compatibility testing, regression testing, recovery testing, maintenance testing, documentation testing, and usability testing. Discussion. In order to cost effective, the testing must be congregated on areas where it will be most effective. The testing should be planned such that when testing is stopped for whatever reason, the most effective testing in the time allotted has been done. The absence of an organizational testing policy may result in too much effort and money will be spent on testing, attempting to achieve a level of quality that is impossible or unnecessary. And thank you to all giving this great opportunity for me, and thank you all.